the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into live reaction right here. Auburn moves on to the Elite Eight. We'll take your comments here. Just going to break down what we just watched and witnessed as Auburn, for the third time in school history, makes it to an Elite Eight. What an ending to this game. We'll talk about it. Again, jump in, grab your comments. Love to interact with you guys. I'm a solo rider. I guess I'm operating with a couple of older people. Thought Faith was supposed to be young. She's already in the bed. I know Randy's in the bed watching the game, but had to jump on because Auburn makes it to the Elite Eight. They will take on Michigan State on Sunday. But let's just talk about this game. It was not pretty early. Really rough start for both teams. Just sloppy play all the way around. Auburn turning the basketball over. Couldn't really get anything going outside. Couldn't hit any threes, but hung in there and actually had the lead at halftime, which was kind of astonishing. And you look at Michigan, they came out and kind of took control in the second half, but Auburn went on a tremendous run right there and just basically did what they needed to do. And it was the guards. I mean, let's start with Johni Broome first. Johni Broome was the consistent guy here tonight for Auburn. And again, I know we're in a battle with Cooper Flagg for Player of the Year. And Johni Broome showed up when it mattered. Had 22 points and 16 rebounds, had a double-double at halftime. Just a tremendous effort by, again, we'll say it, I know we're biased on here, but a Player of the Year candidate, I think, deserves the award. But 22 points, 16 rebounds, really kind of held Auburn together. The only guy that was really doing anything all night until the second half. And then you had Denver Jones and Tahad Pettiford both. They poured 20 in, and it was very important that we had both of them step up. I mean, Miles Kelly just couldn't find the range tonight for whatever reason. And again, it's one of those situations where you want to be able to have a couple of compliments to Johni Broome. Johni Broome really is kind of the guy that you rely on and is usually Mr. Consistency. I know the last couple of games he hasn't had the best offensive output, but he showed up tonight. He really carried this Auburn team and got them to where they needed to be in the second half. But let's look at this. Denver Jones with 27 of 13, but Todd Pettiford, man, he's an all-star. We've talked about it all week on this show that Todd Pettiford he is the superstar. He is the most talented player on this team. I know that's kind of crazy to say with Johni Broome being up for Player of the Year, but he is the most highly touted, best athletic player we have on this team. And in March Madness tournament, that's when the guys like him show up. And he didn't get off to the best start, but another 20-point effort. So he had 23 against Creighton. He had 16 against Alabama State. And so now he pours in another 20. And I said it all week. I said if Todd Pettiford is going to score between 18 to 23 points a game, it's going to be tough for anybody to beat this Auburn team. And so you had two outstanding performances by guards in Denver Jones and Todd Pettiford that really helped Auburn get to this victory over a very good Michigan team. And we'll look at what Denver Jones was able to do defensively. Trey Donaldson only had 5 points. Again, love Trey. Love what he did when he was at Auburn. But Denver Jones proved tonight why he is such a tremendous defensive player, maybe the best defensive guard in the country. Tired of Auburn getting off to a slow start. Didn't look like they belonged. The only good thing was that Michigan was playing equally as sloppy. And, the stat category we wanted to focus on was turnovers. When Michigan turned the ball over more or less than 13 times this season, they were 13-2. They turned it over 17 times against Auburn tonight. Auburn turned it over 15 times. It wasn't a pretty game in the first half. Auburn had a couple opportunities on fast breaks where they just couldn't dribble the basketball. And for whatever reason, Miles Kelly was just kind of out of sorts tonight. And but the good thing is you got guys that pick each other up. I mean, Chad Baker-Mazara, only 6 points, played 25 minutes, but just couldn't find the range. He was 2 of 9 shooting. And again, you don't have to have everybody play exceptional basketball to win. I thought Chaney Johnson had quality minutes. Only had 4 points, but he had quality minutes. He was able to spill Janai Broome and kind of give him a breather there in the first half. Some comments coming in. James, yes, let's go. Elite Eight, call me War Eagle. I love it. Being able to fight through and make it to the Elite Eight. It really doesn't matter how you win, but you just win. And look, I'll just be honest with everybody. Take that momentum. This is 2 games in a row where Auburn kind of lackluster in the first half, and then they turn it up a notch, and they kind of show why they're the number 1 overall seed in this tournament. But the offense is going to have to be better. The offense is going to have to play 2 halves. You just can't continue to come out and play one half of basketball offensively and expect to win a national championship. Now, again, they're one game away. They're 40 minutes away from making their second Final Four in Auburn history and second Final Four in 6 years. So that's tremendous. But let's look at Michigan for a second. Wolf with 20 points. You can say what you want to. He was a thorn in Auburn's side last year against Yale, or playing for Yale. And he poured in his effort tonight. I mean, really, he kind of was the only guy. Golden had 10 points, but I thought Dylan Cardwell did a really good job inside on those guys. Dylan, when you look at the box score, he only had 1 point. He hit that 1 free throw early, but defensively and being able to protect the rim was where he was so valuable for Auburn tonight. And that's the good thing. Defensively, Auburn still played a really good game. They held this Michigan team to 65 points. Michigan had just scored 91 against Texas A&M, so was a little concerned about how this Michigan team was playing and how they would play against Auburn. But it was the defense that kept Auburn in this game and gave them an opportunity to kind of turn it up a notch there in the second half. Randy said Houston only up 2 with 4 minutes to go in that game. I think they're up now by 5, 60-55 with 2:32 to go. But yeah, comments. Anybody have anything they want to add or share? We'd love to hear from you. Or I guess I would love to hear from you. I guess I'm solo tonight, but just a big deal. I mean, Todd Pettiford played like a freshman All-American when he needed to, and I can't say enough about Denver Jones. We've been saying this all year, and it really is going to miss that guy when he's gone, because not many people play elite defense the way Denver Jones plays elite defense. And Justin, the pullover, I've already pulled it off, man. The pullover is sitting on the couch back downstairs. So, yeah, we got a little bit of a lucky pullover thing going. Me and Butch from 1996, we kind of pulled that thing out of the cardboard box and then the mothballs and everything else. But it's working right now. I'm going to head over to Atlanta on Sunday, and I'm going to be wearing the pullover. So if you see me over there and you see me with my big AU logo and you're like, where the heck did he get that thing and how old is that? I don't care. We're going to ride that thing maybe all the way to a national title. So I'll have the pullover back on. And again, Auburn is one basketball game away from another Final Four. And it's just amazing what Bruce Pearl's been able to do with this program. Auburn will be taking on Michigan State. Let's talk about them for just a little bit. They pull off a gritty win against Ole Miss, and we're behind in that game, and we're able to fight back, but didn't shoot the ball very well. They were 6 of 17 from outside. shot it pretty well overall. 24, 48, 50%, but didn't shoot it very well from outside. Richardson had 20 and Carr had 15. Atkins added 13 points there. But this Ole Miss team chose, it really was playing its best basketball at the right time. I know Auburn had beaten Ole Miss 3 times this year, and I know we were a little bit leery about trying to play the same team for a 4th time. And you just think the law of averages at some point are going to catch up with you. I was for playing Michigan State. We want to play somebody we haven't played yet. Ole Miss and Auburn know each other so well that just kind of is a prescription for a rock fight type game, a really low scoring game, and it really boils down to somebody just being hot. One particular player could get hot and kind of control that game. So glad we're playing Michigan State. Randy said it multiple times. Of the number 2 seeds, we thought maybe they were the one that we wanted. Now, of course, St. John's got eliminated, and they proved to maybe be the worst number 2 seed. But this is this is a Michigan State team that Auburn can beat. Again, defensively, Auburn can play with anybody. Just got to come out and play 2 halves. I really feel good about the opportunity to knock Michigan State off and get to that Final Four. But Padula led Ole Miss with 24 points, and Dia had 11. Brakefield had 9. Morrell had 13 there for Ole Miss. But, we can say what we want to. The SEC has proven to be the dominant conference in the country, not just during the season, but here in postseason when it counts. You got Alabama playing Duke tomorrow, Florida playing Texas Tech, and then on Sunday you got Auburn and Michigan State that will be matching up, and then of course we're waiting for the final slot to be filled there on Sunday. But again, the SEC with Arkansas playing the way they did, let's just be honest about it. Probably should be them playing Florida tomorrow in that matchup. But the SEC really proved all year that they were the best conference, and all of these SEC teams are battle tested. Tennessee moves on, and you knew somebody would have to lose in that game. Tennessee knocks out Kentucky, but Tennessee and Florida and Auburn and Alabama are all still alive in this thing, and it's kind of hard to believe. I was on Gary Harris's show in Tuscaloosa earlier today, and we talked about this, and then Randy and I talked about this on the podcast, and I think Randy actually had 4 SEC teams in the Final Four, and why not? There's really not anybody that I'm looking at that's left that I would say is just so much better than any of these SEC teams left. So the Final Four of the SEC tournament, Florida, Auburn, Tennessee, and Alabama, you could actually see those same teams make the Final Four in San Antonio. And how crazy would that be if that happened? So Tennessee knocks off Kentucky 78 to 65, and they'll move on and await the winner of this game coming up, whether it be Houston, or whether it be Houston or Purdue, which is tied at 60 right now with 29 seconds to go. So the SEC very well represented here going into this Elite Eight. So just had to jump on for a minute. Not going to stay on long, but just getting a reaction here. Auburn knocks off Michigan 78 to 65 and moves on to their 3rd Elite Eight in school history. And again, I think this team still has a lot left in the tank. Get through that game. Auburn's down to 3 basketball games from winning a national championship. And let's be honest, we've never had a team this talented. The 19 team that went to the Final Four really caught their stride at the right time, and not taking anything away from them. They'll go down in history, obviously, forever as being the best team to this point. because they made it the furthest. And let's be honest, they probably should have won a national title. Kind of had it taken away from them in that Virginia game. But Jared Harper, Bryce Brown, Danjel Purifoy, just keep going down the list. Just such a gritty team that lost Chuma Okeke, and he may have been playing the best basketball of anybody on that team, but got hurt and couldn't finish out the tournament. This team has a chance to win it all. This team has a chance to finish the deal. Potential path, obviously Michigan State in the Elite Eight, and then, of course, maybe more than likely a rematch with Florida there in the semifinals in San Antonio. I've got Florida beating Texas Tech. Now, they had a gritty come-from-behind win against Arkansas, but Florida's favored by 6.5 in that game. So I think Florida's going to win the game, and they'll punch their ticket to the Final Four, and then Auburn will have its shot on Sunday against Michigan State to punch its ticket on that side. And then on the flip side, Duke and Alabama battle tomorrow. That game is at 7:49 Central Time, and Duke's favored by 6.5, but Alabama just shot the lights out of it last night. So can they repeat that? If they can, they'll move on to a Final Four as well. So, and Tennessee sits there and awaits the winner of that Purdue and Houston game. So we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. But still, opportunity for 4 SEC teams to make it into the Final Four is just kind of crazy. It's just really mind-boggling, to be honest. Not that we didn't expect it the way the teams played all year, but it's just so hard to navigate this tournament and have 4 teams from the same conference make it as the last 4 teams standing. But we could easily see that. And I know we've talked about this on the podcast, and Faith and I talked about it today and yesterday. We could possibly see an Auburn-Alabama national championship matchup. I know there's still a lot of business to be taken care of by both teams. Both teams have got to win their Elite Eight game first and get to the Final Four. And then whoever they play in the Final Four is going to be a really good team. But Auburn and Alabama could make it to that national title game. And I know with each game, we're getting one step closer to that. And that's kind of surreal. Something that we've never seen before and may never see ever again if it were to happen. So just a wild one. But again, huge win for the Auburn Tigers. Again, it didn't start off pretty, but it ended the way it should have. And led by Janai Broome, Tahad Pettiford, and Denver Jones. Just outstanding second half by all 3 of those guys. And we're able to get it done. And just a tremendous, tremendous win to move this team one step closer to another Final Four. So I'm going to get out of here. Again, had to get on, give everybody a little bit of reaction against for this Sweet 16 win against Michigan State, or against Michigan. And now the Auburn Tigers will take on the other team for Michigan State, led by Tom Izzo, who's a legend. It'll be a good game. Tickets are skyrocketing up. If you ain't gotten any, you better get your pocketbook out, because they're going up by the minute. But there's going to be a ton of Auburn fans over there, and it'll be like Neville Arena East over in Atlanta. So there'll be a lot of people traveling over there, even if they don't have tickets. But I'm excited about being able to go over and watch that game on Sunday. But hope everybody has a good rest of their night, good weekend, more basketball coming up, and hopefully Auburn on Sunday will be able to pull out the win against Michigan State. Have a great night, everybody. War Eagle.